Hello, everybody. I'm Roadblock, and we are back on the free-to-play account. So, this is going to be a relatively short video. I know I usually say that and end up getting a long-winded kind of rant, but for this one, I do think it's going to be short because Mondays are really hard for me to record. I have to wake up early tomorrow, and I try to get everything done, like my quests, my challenges, my keys for Doom Tower, all of that stuff. I try to get all of that done before I go to sleep on all three of my accounts. That way I don't miss progress towards the monthly quest, right? And I don't miss progress towards gear and things like that. So it's just hard to do that on three accounts and squeeze in video time or recording time, I should say. So that's why I'm recording this a little bit earlier and going to keep it kind of short. But I do want to give you guys an update, right? I I've been a fan of these types of series before, and when you watch them and then you go for a really long period of time without an update, and then finally you get one, and you're like, oh, this person's account is completely different. Well, how did they go from step A to step B? So I want to make sure I document everything for you guys so that you can see everything between A and B, and how did I get from Clan Boss Brutal to Clan Boss Nightmare, and vice versa. So you just take a look at some stuff. I'm gonna make sure I don't have any lingering quests. Okay, got all my quests done. Um, Real quick, I do want to point out something. And normally, when I have so I have a clan spot open up. Normally, when a spot opens up, I'll go in and I'll promote the clan. However, in this case, I'm going to promote it to you guys. I am constantly getting people asking, hey, can I join your clan? Can I join your clan? Can I join your clan? So rather than promote it and let some, I don't want to say random, but somebody that doesn't watch my content join, I would rather let somebody who is interested. Now, to be clear, I want to let you guys know that I do expect a minimum of gold 1. Everybody in my clan is gold 1 with the exception of one person who we are, well, that's a fluke. He just happened to get demoted because Mards is definitely consistent in gold 1. In fact, several people probably got demoted because of the start of the refresh, right? And so, like, I'm gold 3, but on this account, I went down to gold 2 because of the weekly reset for arena. So, but we have one person in silver 1 or silver 4 who we're constantly working with to keep them, trying to help them get better in arena. But I do request that people are gold 1 at minimum, and then I'm looking more so for somebody that can do Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare if possible. I mean, we're consistently killing Ultra Nightmare now. You know, we've got only a few hours left in the day, and we're already almost done. But what has happened in the past is I've picked up people that are doing easy and normal and doing like 40 million on easy, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, you clearly don't understand. And so I just want to make sure that we're bringing in people that are more in line with what the clan is doing here, right? So, and we're also looking for help in Hydra. Now, our current Hydra situation is actually pretty good. Um, in fact, I think we were, yeah. So, obviously, we're not. Doesn't look. In fact, yeah, we're not. We're not beating these scores. This must be. I was gonna say, I wonder if they have a Trunda reset team somewhere in the mix here, but uh, we also could use help in Hydra to do better in Clash. So if you're interested in joining, feel free to let me know. When you apply, make sure you put in the comments part of it a little bit about yourself. If there's no comments, it's an instant decline. I'm not gonna accept them unless somebody, even if I'm promoting the clan. So, anyways, enough about that. I just wanted to let you guys know. I don't really have another way of like reaching out individually because so many people ask. I can't keep track of all of them, and how do I pick, who's who? So, um, Now let's talk about the account. So what's going on the free-to-play account? So what I want to do with my energy, well, what I did do what I said I would do. So Taragi is actually fully mastered. Obviously, I haven't put the masteries into him, and obviously he's only 45, so I do still need to level him up in order to get that full power and fully ascend him. Well, he's not going to get fully ascended until I get the mission to ascend a magic champion to level 6 of Ascension. I have to wait until tomorrow to be able to do that by clearing this stage 10 15 times. That unlocks this quest, and then so on and so forth. I remember these quests now. These are so frustrating because they're not in the right order. So right now, the Force Keep is open. If I wanted to do a Potion Keep, I would do Force Keep because it's open right now. But I have to do Magic Keep first. So when I do Magic Keep, the next one is Force Keep. Well, then I have to wait until Force Keep opens again. And then it's Void. So it's just not in the right order. And it's frustrating. Or maybe I'm missing something there. But it's very frustrating. So we are getting ever so close to getting Arbiter, which is going to change the game quite a bit. Mostly in Arena for this account. But it will be a big impact for sure. So, wanted to give an update on Taragi, because I know everyone's kind of waiting on that. As far as Skullcrusher goes, he is leveled up to rank 5. He is still a work in progress. He will be my next big work now that Taragi's done. We're going to go Skullcrusher next. So I think I talked about this in the last video. To go Taragi, then Skullcrusher, then probably Ignatius, and then probably Kreela in that order. With Skull Lord being in the mix there, and obviously Seer being in the mix there, I went on a big detailed explanation about her. Now, one thing about Seer that has been pointed out quite a few times is a support champion that really complements her well in Archmage Helmet, who I can get for free by doing Doom Tower. Now, this particular rotation, I kind of got hard stopped. Obviously, we only have 11 hours on this rotation left. I got hard stuck right here against the floor 90 Celestial Griffin. I kind of just called it quits and didn't continue with it. But the next time this rotation comes around, I think I'll find much more success against the Griffin. But because I'll have a deeper roster at that point. Somebody like Kreela can make a huge difference there, because then I can get a lot of extra hits in that won't necessarily get more War Master procs, right? That won't necessarily cause the power level of the Griffin to go up. So there will be a better attempt in the future, but I tried multiple iterations of different champions on the roster, and I was not able to break through the Griffin. So that slowed down my progress on Helmet, of course, but we're about to get a new rotation in a couple of hours. Right now, and this sounds very, very crazy, I'm leaving resources on the floor, and that's just because I'm too overwhelmed. What do I mean by that? I'm not doing Cursed City on my accounts. The free-to-play challenge account, I don't even think it's high enough level for Cursed City. This account can do a couple of stages, but not really getting anywhere. But there are good resources in there that I'm, quite frankly, deliberately passing up. I may reassess that mentality and change that, try to fit Cursed City, but as I just mentioned to you, I'm trying to do all 3 of these accounts every night, usually between the hours of like 7 o'clock and midnight. And quite often that translates into 1 or 2 a.m. plus wanting to, do stuff that isn't work, which is this kind of is now. So, it's Curse City I've just put on the back burner. It's not going anywhere, right? I'll be able to push it and give it more of a time commitment later on after this free to play challenge is over. So if you're wondering why I don't give too many updates about Curse City, that's why. I'm just not committing enough time to it. Now, I will also say that I can easily come in here and just use my keys, knock out the easy rooms, get these extra little bits of resources, the energy, the potions, and whatnot, right? And then go leave it until the next reset. And I will probably do that, but I'm not hard progressing in Curse City on this account. And even on my main account, I just kind of stopped caring on my main account. The rewards are great, but you're talking adding probably another hour of trying to figure out a comp that works and then getting stuck, and my roster isn't deep because I've only been playing the game for a year. It just the excuses can pile up. So I may reconsider it, but right now, just at the pace that I'm going, I can't keep up with Curse City on top of everything else. So we talked about Taragi and kind of where he's at. Let's talk about the big news. First, I want to talk about what my energy on the account is currently going to be used for. That's going to be Sand Devil. Now, this may come as a shock. This account isn't exactly like the tip-top, Sand Devil progression, but it's really only about 2,000 energy to get a really good reward. So I don't see why I wouldn't do that, on top of the fact that I would also get good resources for the account. As you saw, I was able to ascend quite a few pieces of gear on Blade Master, right? And I could do the same thing on multiple champions, which will increase my performance in Clan Boss potentially. If you're talking about getting more HP on Taragi, right? Or getting more speed or on Venomage, or even more speed on Deacon and Sun Wukong for PvP. Like, there's a lot of benefit. And if I'm farming it consistently, whether, just getting the smaller potions, but still, that's going to get me at least up re-rolling the gear, or not re-rolling, sorry, but at least getting the first ascension on it, and possibly getting that extra HP attack or defense. So in this case, I'd like to see extra flat attack here. And we got defense. But, I'm getting help towards the account, right? And that's the important part. So I don't think there's anything wrong with me doing Sand Devil, even though I'm only getting the starter potions, or, the lowest level of potions. But I do think that tournament, it's very easy to do. It's a great reward at the end, and we just happen to have, coming up, something that's going to use that reward. We have a Soulstone Rush. So that's going to help me get more points out of the Soulstone Rush. Now, here's the thing that I'm going to say about the Soulstone Rush. I might not pull for this one, and I might save for the next one. The reason being, the Soulstone Rush, you can actually calculate what rewards you're going to get ahead of time. Because you can say, okay, well, I have this many of this stone, I have this many of that stone. I will get this many points at the end of it. If I can't get to a point that I like, a piece of gear that I like, then maybe I should save for the next one. Now, the Soulstone Chases, right, the ones where it's all about RNG, those ones are harder to calculate because you could get really bad luck. Case in point, my main account that pulled no legendaries during the champion chase, and then not get as many points. I got a lot of epics, so I still did good, but I could have done better, right? So I'm undecided about that. Then we have the Blade Master Titan event. Now, I cannot view this for another 8 hours, but I did read in the news about it that we'll be getting souls for Blade Master. These are great events, and these are big events, because getting souls for Blade Master are very, very important, because it's one less soul that I got to go after, and getting a 4 or 5 star soul on a champion as good as Blade Master means opening up massive amounts of damage. I mean, we can get a guaranteed Brimstone, or sorry, a protected Brimstone at 5 stars. It's not 100%, but it is protected. On top of that, getting resistance and extra accuracy, or even just this crit damage right here. I mean, that's a big deal on both of my free-to-play accounts. So I really want to take this event seriously, but I have to be careful. I don't want to overcommit to this event and risk throwing away a large amount of energy right before the next fusion event. So there's a fine line here. Now, thankfully, I have deep gem pockets on this account, and I'm keeping those gem pockets because I'm doing Minotaur instead of spending gems for masteries. Now, I want to say that I would not be doing this if not for RSL Helper. If you are a free-to-play player and you're using just your phone or a mobile device to play, you don't have access to RSL Helper, which was able to run everything I wanted it to run last night. So if I do this real quick, if I come in here and go to Minotaur, it'll show me here. I gotta make sure I'm on the right account. So let me click a stage. Whoops. There's no value to finish this, because other than XP for Taragi, but I'm not worried about that. It's just a waste of energy because he is fully maxed out. So you can see here, I can check this Minnow Scrolls and then auto refill. And it will refill my energy all the way up through until he has maxed out his Minotaur Scrolls. That's a really valuable asset for a free-to-play player. So I was able to run this all night last night. I got up to level 45, and it didn't cost me any multi-battles, and it just cost me the amount of gems that it would have cost to do it in Minotaur, which is less than the 800 that it currently is. So having that ability is a big boost to a free-to-play account, and I like to point out the advantages that I tend to have over some other free-to-play players that may not have that ability, right? So if you were a regular free-to-play player, and not regular, sorry, but if you were a free-to-play player that doesn't have RSL Helper or just doesn't want to use it, you don't want to deal with a different app, or you don't want to learn how to use it, because some people may say it's not complicated, but some people may also say this is complicated. I mean, just that screen you saw a second ago, there's a ton of numbers on the screen. There's a lot going on. It can be hard to figure out if you don't get in there and play with it, and you may not have that time. When I first started the free-to-play account, I didn't have the desire nor the time to learn a whole new system in RSL Helper. I'm at the point now where I need to in order to maintain these 3 accounts reasonably, but my point is that if you don't have that functionality, it can be quite hard, and sometimes using 800 gems is maybe better for your sanity, because you're not going to have enough multi-battles to go through unless you're doing it across several days, right? And then you also run the risk, which is the reason that I hated running multi-battles in Minotaur, of wasting energy. You just saw I accidentally clicked in Minotaur. That would have given me no value, only XP for Taragi, but I would have gotten no scrolls because everybody in there is already fully scrolled out. So so it is something that I would say is an advantage that I have on this account that you may not. Other advantages that I've had on this account that you may not is being in an established clan. So my clan shop that's about to refresh, I have access to a lot more resources. I was able to get Yannicka very early. I was able to get Yakarl fragments earlier than most. On my main account, the clan didn't level. I started a clan day one. That clan did not level up high enough for me to get Yannicka fragments until quite a while into it. And here we are. Now, I'm not going to purchase this, but, you know, I was thinking about ways to gain an advantage on my free-to-play challenge account. If my free-to-play challenge account was in this clan, I would have access for using clan gold to 5 to 6 star gear. And we've seen the impact that this gear can have. This is the symbol for Killstroke gear. So Killstroke gear is what I got very early on for my Sun Wukong. Now, I got great substats, and that's not a guarantee, but by putting this gear on him, I was able to build him very strong, very early, and that helped me better in Arena. And I think I even had some of this on Kale for quite a while. It's no longer on him. I don't think it's on anybody. Yeah, no, some of it is still out there. I've got some here on now Venomage. Now, if you haven't been watching all of it, I was able to get this gear very early because there was an event, one of the card flip events, and it was all gear underneath, which is a great event. I think Raid should bring that back. I loved it. It was a huge boost to this account in particular. Enough about that, though. I do like to point out the advantages that I may have over other free-to-play players because it is important. You can't necessarily rate your account against mine. You have to look at the whole picture. So, okay. We talked about Taragi. We talked about where I'm going to be spending energy. And then this event is going to be big, and I want to go for it as much as possible. So I want to make sure that I am earning Blade Master points where possible. This particular Dungeon Divers, I hope that it will line up with another tournament of some kind that currently isn't announced, so that I can double dip there. We will see. At the very least, I'll just grind probably Fire Knight is what I would grind, because I haven't done a lot of Fire Knight, and Savage Gear is kind of the next step for my PvP and even PvE progression to an extent. So that would probably be the play. Well, like I said, every time I say, oh, we're going to have a short video, it ends up being quite long. Now, we're still under my normal time, but I do want to end it here and try to remember. I feel like there was something else. I did pull a couple more ancients. I didn't get anything interesting. I did pull another void, or not another. I did pull another epic, I meant to say, and that was a. I think it was a Faction Wars epic that got vaulted. Not that Faction Wars, a Faction Guardian epic that got vaulted. Yeah, it was It was a Dark Athel. So, nothing interesting in that regard. And now we're on to the next event. So we will see what's coming. I'm going to hold on to the Primal until we have a 2x for Mythicals. I'm going to hold on to the Voids until we have 2x for Void. And I'm going to hold on to the Sacreds until 2x for Sacreds. But that is well, maybe not. I might hold on to all of my shards going into the next summon rush for the next fusion. So we will analyze that as it comes up. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for the support. The subs have been going great. I think we're up to, what are we at now? So 818, getting oh so close to that magical 1,000. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, because that'll be a big landmark for the account, of course. But I don't want to keep you guys any longer than I already have. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.